Hello friends, today we are going to see the classes and the inheritance topic. Already you have learned about the structures as the way they compile the data and the functionality into a type. Now many programming languages also support another feature which we call as the classes that perform the similar functionality as that of structures, but in some special cases classes can be used instead of structures. The classes and the structures are very similar and either can be used as an building blocks for your program or the application. In this lecture, you will learn what makes the classes different than the structures and when to use the classes instead of structures. We'll also learn about the inheritance, superclasses and the subclasses. So we'll start. Here first how to define the class. Here we have defined the person class with the class is the keyword for that. Person is the class name. It is having one property called as a name, having the data type as a string, and one method. Initializer. We are having the customized initializer for that custom initializer with the init name and then self dot name is equal to name. So this is the customized initializer for the class person. Here we are having the one method called inside the class, that is a say hello method, which will print the hello there. We will try to run this onto the playground. For this I have to open the Xcode, file, playground, classes, create. They're already there, so I will replace that. Okay, so that means we have created the class person here with the property name, initializer for the class. Then we are having one method called as a say hello. And when we try to run this, we have to create the object or the instance of this person class. So same by using so I will create the instance of this class person equal to person. Then I'll give you the guide name. I will put here Ravindra. So when I will print this, print person dot name, you can see the Ravindra is printed on the console. Similarly, you can call the method here, print person dot say hello. Hello there. Okay, so this will be the regarding how to declare the class with the property initializer and the method. Then the next concept is the inheritance, which is very important concept regarding the classes. where the classes are differing from the structures. That means the biggest difference between the structures and the classes is that the classes can have the hierarchical relationships. Any class have the parent and child class. A parent class is called as a superclass and the child class is called as a subclass. It is just like that of the family relationships. Subclasses inherits the properties and the methods from the superclasses. However, subclasses can augment or replace the implementation of the superclass properties and the methods. So here we have took one example: base class as a vehicle, subclass as a tandem bicycle, and the superclass as a bicycle. So here vehicle is the base class vehicle is the base class having the two properties: current speed having the default value as a 0 is point 0, and the description having which is having that means the traveling at the current speed miles per hour, and one method make noise is there. So when we call this base class, I will try this into the playground. We'll try this into the playground. It's the instance we have to create some vehicle in the instance. Some vehicle in the instance. When you run this, vehicle is traveling at 0.0 miles per hour. So what we have created the base class vehicle here. Current speed is a variable having the default value of 0.0. Description is a variable having the string as a data type, and it will take the traveling at current speed miles per hour. It will print this and make noise as a function method here. So we have created one instance for the vehicle, some vehicle, and then we have printed the vehicle, that is some vehicle dot description. So description is called here. So that's why description is having the traveling at current speed. And so current speed is 0.0 default value. So that means the on the console, it is printed as a vehicle traveling at 0.0 miles per hour. Now, if you want to create the subclass of this, the syntax is that you have to create the class subclass name. Suppose that here we have took the name as the subclass as the some subclass, and then he will be inherit from the whatever the name of the base class. Suppose that some superclass. So here we have created the one class subclass, that is a bicycle, which will be inherited from the vehicle class. So vehicle class is the base class here, and we want to create the subclass for this vehicle class, that is a base bicycle is the subclass which will inherit. This is the syntax you have to write down like this: class bicycle with the then vehicle, and we will print there where it is variable has basket is there, which is having the boolean value as a false. So you can have the class bicycle vehicle boolean value as a false. Then we have to create the instance of this subclass also, that is a bicycle is the instance of this subclass. And then if you have the property has basket of bicycle subclass is, you can set that to the true or false also. So you can, if you want to see this on the playground, you can see. Now if you run here this, you will get bicycle traveling at 15 miles per hour. Now here what happened, our vehicle is our base class. We have created one subclass called as a bicycle which will inherit from the vehicle class. And this bicycle subclass is having its own property has basket, which is having the Boolean value as a false. Then we have created one instance of this bicycle subclass, that is bicycle, and we have called the bicycle here, and we have called the property bicycle dot has basket, and we have set that to the true. Now here you can also, we know that the subclass can inherit the property, subclass can inherit the properties from the base class. Now the current speed is a property of the base class vehicle, so we, that also you can able to call that in the subclass instance. So here we are calling bicycle dot current speed, that means we are calling the method from the, we are calling the property of the base class into the subclass. Okay, this is the current property of the base class that we are calling here in the subclass. Okay, so bicycle dot current speed equal to 15. So when we print this, it will bicycle dot description also is a, property of a vehicle class. So that means you can inherit the properties of the base class into the subclass. So that's why it is printed like this. Also we can create the subclass like this. Okay, we have done this. So one more example. Now what we have done here, we have created another subclass of the bicycle class also. So that means the tandem is the class which will inherit from the bicycle now. Okay, so here the tandem is inherited from the bicycle class. It is also having its own property, which is the current number of passengers, which is having the default value as a 0. So it will, that means the tandem will inherit the properties from the bicycle class also and from the vehicle class also. Okay, so that means if you run this onto the playground, if you run this onto the playground, now up to this what we have created, we have created the bicycle class from the vehicle class, and now from the vehicle class we have we have created another subclass of time which is called as a tandem, which will inherit from the bicycle. Now as the bicycle is, so and it is having its own property current number of passengers, so it will be possible for that it will take the, it will run this current number of passengers. Similarly, it will inherit the properties of the bicycle class. Property of the bicycle class is a has basket, so you can see the has basket is also, it can this property is inherited from the bicycle class. Similarly, as the bicycle class is having the parent class as a vehicle, so the that properties of the vehicle class also can be inherited into the tandem. So you can have the current speed. Current speed is a property of the vehicle class, so that will be also inherited into the tandem class. So if you call this current speed and description, you can run this. You can see tandem traveling at 22 miles per hour. That means if you summarize this, I have created one base call called as a vehicle having the property current speed and the description and the function make noise, and then we have created its instance of vehicle, and we have printed that. Now from the vehicle base class we have created one subclass called as a bicycle having its own property as a has basket, then created the instance of bicycle. So bicycle will have the properties of its own property and also the property inherited from the vehicle base class. Similarly, you can create the one more class, that is a tandem class, which is inherited from the bicycle class. It is having its own property as the current number of passengers. So similarly, it is inherited from the bicycle. So it will have the properties inherited from the bicycle, that is has basket. As the bicycle is inherited from the vehicle class, so tandem will have the properties of the vehicle class also, that is the current speed and the description. So this is the inheritance concept, which is very important in the programming. So this is the difference between the structures and the classes. Now the next is the override methods and the properties. Now here again we have created one class, train class, which is again inherited from the vehicle. Now we know that in the vehicle class we have defined one method, that is a make noise. So in the subclass you can override the method of the base class. You can make the changes into the make noise. So you can see in vehicle class we are not having the print function into the base make no function base class vehicle class function. So you can override that function into the subclass. Okay, so we will also run this onto the playground. Okay, so we are taking the object here. Okay, now we know that make noise is a function of our base class, that is the vehicle class. You get a function, you can say base class, vehicle class, base class is having the make noise method, and we are not having the print function inside that. So we have created one the subclass which is called as a train, from the which will inherit the property methods on the properties from the vehicle class. But we want to add this print statement into the make noise. So what we have done, we have using the method from the make noise method which is inherited from the base class, but we want to change there that some content of that method. So that's why we have used the override function here, override keyword. So it will make the changes into the base class method. So by using the override you can make these changes. So override function make noise, we can print the statement choo choo. Okay, so this will, and if you want to run this, we have created instance train here. Train will be inherited from train dot make noise. If I run this, you can hear the voice choo choo. So that means the base class methods can be override into the subclass methods. Similarly, you can also override the property, override description. Okay, so you can make the changes into the property description. So here you have to use the keyword super. Okay, that means the when you are inheriting the property, when you are inheriting the property from the parent class or the base class, then you have to use the word super. Okay, description is the property of, the property of the vehicle class. Here you can see description is the property of the vehicle class here. Okay, so if you want to change that, you can override that into the subclass, that is a car is the subclass of the vehicle base class. Here we have put its own properties, gear property, its own property of the car subclass, and we are overriding the description from the base class. We have to, when we are doing that, we have to use the keyword super here. Okay, super dot description plus in gear on gear. So if you run this, okay, you have to create the instance of this car. Let car equal to car in print car dot description. Okay, in gear 1. So this will be the added in gear. The gear value is added to the per hour. This is the base state. This is the basic statement of our base class. So we have override that with the in gear 1 here. Okay, so that is the, so that means you can inherit that from the base class and use it in the subclass. You can also change the values of that, okay, like this. Then next concept is a override initializer. You can also override the initializer. So here we have created one student class which will inherit it from the person having its own property as a favorite subject. But here class student has no initializers. So you can put the initializers here. You can init that with the name string, favorite subject string, self dot favorite subject is equal to favorite subject. So super dot init name equal to name. Okay. So here like this you can, in references you can create an instance of the class. So it returns the address of that instance. The return address is assigned to the variable. When you assign the address of instance to the multiple variables, each variable contains the same address. Update one instance and all variables refer to the updated instance. Here you can see member-wise initializers. This is the concept which we already have studied in the structures. But Swift does not create the member-wise initializers for the classes. This is again the difference between the structures and the classes. In the structures, we will have the member-wise initializers. In classes, we will not have the member-wise initializers. Here, the common practice is for the developers to create their own for their defined classes. So the question comes, when to use the class and when to use the structure? The answer for that is start new types as a structure, and you can use the class when you are working with the framework that uses the classes, when you want to refer to some instance of the type in multiple places, and when you want to have the model inheritance. So here we will end the classes topic, classes and inheritance. For your exercise, we'll have the lab. The link for that will be, you will find in the description below. Please solve that. If you have any query, you can comment it out. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.